Welcome to Mix It Up, y'all. So here we are. It is summertime. It is time for some summer drinks, and I am going to do a summer series. Today, we're going to start with my most favorite summer cocktail, which is sangria. This recipe was given to me by a good friend of mine. Her name is Sue. I had asked her if she had a recipe for sangria several years ago, and this was the recipe that she gave me. She told me that this recipe came directly from a bartender in Italy. I'm using a Shiraz wine today from South Australia. You can use whatever wine you want. The original recipe does call for a sweet red wine. I like to have a little bold flavor in mine, so I would typically use a Pinot Noir or a Cabernet or a Tempranillo or a Shiraz. So we have our wine, orange liqueur, lemon vodka, sugar, our cut up fruit for the sangria, and our brandy, or I'm using cognac. All cognac is brandy, not all brandy is cognac. And then I have, for the bubblies, the Sprite. So let's put the first part of this together. And I have a pitcher here that I'm going to make the sangria in. I just have a glass pitcher that fits nicely. I bought it from Amazon. Fits nicely in the fridge, in the door of my fridge, which makes it super easy to store. So we are going to put 3 1/4 cups of wine. Yes, and 1/4 cup. I always thought that meant a full bottle, and that's what I've always used, but I thought I would measure it with you today to make sure. So we have our wine in, and now 1/3 cup of everything else. Put 1/3 cup of our orange liqueur. You could use triple sec, you could use any kind of orange liqueur that you have on hand. I am using the Grand Imperial. 1/3 cup, 1/3 cup of cognac or brandy. You can use brandy. Remember, all cognac is brandy, but not all brandy is cognac. Cognac has to be made in the Cognac region of France. And you might or might not know this, that cognac is fruit-based. So it's made with the same ingredients as wine, but it's double distilled. We have our vodka. So this is lemon flavored vodka. This is Deep Eddy's, that's my favorite. And this is going to need to be 1/3 cup as well, which is basically most of it. So I'm going to put in a little bit more. This ended up being maybe not quite 1/2 cup, just a little over 1/3. I used the whole mini container of it, which is nice to keep on hand for this. And now I have 1/3 cup of sugar. You can go less on that if you want. And I have my stirrer. So for this, I'm going to use just a regular glass. I want to put ice in my sangria. Now, you don't have to put ice in your sangria if it's already cold, but obviously mine is not. So I've got 1/2 glass of ice, and then I have cut up some fresh fruit. I have blood oranges in here. I have fresh crisp apples and pears. I have a larger glass because I knew I wanted a lot of fruit in my sangria. So now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and pour in our base of the sangria, which is what we just made. And then I'm going to go 1/2 and 1/2, I think, with the Sprite and the sangria. So let's add our Sprite in. And if you like it less sweet, you can always use a club soda or a tonic. I've used both of those before. But this would be the traditional way to do it, with a sweetened lemon lime soda. And there's a ton of fruits that you could use for this. Again, I use the strawberry, the pears, the blood oranges, and the crisp apple. I've also used blueberries, raspberries, lemons, limes. So here is, let's go ahead and give it a try. That's so good. Yum. It's delicious. We have our very first summer cocktail. It is the Sangria. Thanks to my friend Sue, who gave me the recipe from her bartender in Italy. And I am obsessed with this Sangria recipe. I generally take it to all the summer parties that I go to as my cocktail to share. I say cheers to summer weather. Cheers. Mix it up, y'all.